think might have blown the engine on the old Porsche. Taking a trip this weekend and I was doing pretty good, and then all of a sudden started to hit a hill that I've taken before, and just was losing power and shifted into fourth out of fifth. Give me enough power to get that hill normally, was still losing power, downshift to third gear, and all of a sudden about probably a minute or two into that I started seeing smoke behind me, and I shut her down and coasted over to the side of the road. So I'm hoping, I mean, we're gonna find out today how bad it is. There's a couple other issues that we have to address. One, I noticed that the my green light on the dashboard, my oil idiot light, for some reason went out at some point in time, never realized it. So I had no idea when I lost oil pressure. And the starter, for some reason, starter would not engage. Thought it was a simple fix, but I'm gonna find out what's wrong with that starter too, so we'll do that as well. So first things first, let's pull the starter, let's get that out of the way, and then we'll look inside the engine and see what this thing looks like and kind of go from there. Let's go. All right guys, one of the issues that I had on this trip was my ignition. So if I turn it on, I can hear a fuel pump, and as you notice, yep, no green light. That went off at some point. I'm not sure when that went out, but when I went to start it, nothing. It's just, there's no click, no nothing. So I'm gonna get underneath the car and see if we can't check on that starter. We'll start there and we'll just keep working our way through the process here. I have a fusible link for my starter, and does not look popped to me in better light. So we'll pop that back in. Right there it is. And it is an oily mess under here. So so now starter is, okay, so right there's the starter, and there's your solenoid on that back end. There's your big wire, comes in from the battery. Then you have this wire here, which is your yellow, and then you have, no, this is not Vice Grip Garage. His place is, I think, that way about 2,500 miles. This is Brian's. So we are using some Vice Grips today. So I have the starter up on the bench. Hopefully you can see it right here. Trying to get that out of the way. basically I have the starter grounded to the battery. I have a little bit of wire hitting to the positive on that. I should be able to take this and touch these two terminals together, and it should swirl. If it doesn't whirl, then this thing's no good. See that? We have a bad starter. Now, in the old days, you can get underneath there and bang on it, and these things would generally free up. But as you can see, nothing. Just to make sure here. Yeah. No, nope. All right, so we know we at least have a bad starter to start off with this whole project. So back to the drawing board. All right, guys, so this is my 912E. It's a Type 4 2-liter motor, and it's in my 67 Porsche. And as you can see, I have oil sprayed out kind of all over the place. Kind of see it right there, the discoloration, that's all oil. And when I open up this, yeah, remember, this is an air-cooled motor, but apparently condensation can still creep in. This carb up here. Let's see here. This is what we find underneath our carb, which it looks like since the other day, it has dissipated. Let me see if it shows up over on this carb. If not, I'll have to drop in pictures, which I do have when it happened a few days ago. Do this, I'll drop that off. And it actually looks cleaner than what it was. So I will get a picture and insert it here on what those carburetors look like a couple days ago. Next, I'm gonna see if I can get this motor to turn over and it's not locked up 100%. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull my distributor cap off. We'll move this back out of the way. Pull our distributor cap off. Get some room here. That way I can kind of see if this thing is rotating. And we will get a wrench up on the alternator pulley and see if we can't turn this around. Let me grab a wrench real quick. All right, 12mm wrench. I want to see if I can just move this motor. That looks like it's moving. Moves over really easily. So we got it to go around one complete time. No hang-ups. It was really little, maybe too smooth in a sense, which gets me worried. My oil drippings, which I'll show you this video here. You can see that oil, when I pulled over, was on both sides of the case by the heads where the oil seemed to drip in this video. And you kind of see the pooling underneath the car for that. So I checked oil. I am completely dry. So whether or not all that oil came out through the carbs or through the bottom end, I don't know just yet. So I think the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that distributor and okay, just one little nut right there. that nut. And then you can just simply, gotta disconnect my breakerless ignition. Pull that off, and then one distributor can come right on out. I said, come on out. Okay, so right here is that oil pressure sender, and I have a, pull this off real quick. This is a Save My Bug. Yeah, that may have been part of the reason why too. This wasn't connected somehow. Interesting. I'm curious if we plug this in, if it will light up on the dash. Let's find out real quick. All right, let's check this out here. Turn this key. There should be a red light and a green light. There we go. So our sender is not bad. It was just disconnected. A lot of crazy things going on here today. Stuff that was checked before I left, but somehow things came undone. So I think we put the distributor back in, and we tackle that starter now. All right, we have the starter in our Porsche here, our 912. Let's see what happens when we start this up. Let's see what kind of noise it makes. Keep your fingers crossed. Let's hope she's alive and well. If not, if you hear something with your ear that you kind of think you've heard before, you might know what it is, make a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are before we move through all of this. So let's go start this thing and see what happens. All right, energize that battery. There's that fuel pump's moving. Make sure we're in neutral. Give it a few pumps in the gas. 1, 2, 3. Here goes. More pumps of gas. Nope. She tried.